indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Agenda, consent agenda. We're gonna pull Higgins Lake Utility Authority report down to N. I have one more addition. Number O. Zoning permit fees. Anybody else?
With those changes, I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion's been made to accept the agenda with the corrections. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Next up, public comment on agenda items only. Anybody? Everybody awake over there? Hearing none, moving on, accounts payable.
Accounts payable. Total is $6,867.72, with $12,005.15 goes to the fire department. $426 went to the picnic we had. And the payroll is for the fire department, $17,324.23. Township was $24,694.15.
Excuse me, were there 3 pay periods in that month, Joe? Seems very high. $42,000 in 1 month.
Public comment is the end, please. Any questions on the AP list? No, you don't. I will make a motion to accept the accounts payable as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Jim?
Yes.
Hope? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Joe? Yes.
Treasurer's report.
I always sit one right up there for anybody to take, and it'll show the treasurer's report, so.
Okay. I will accept the treasurer's report as presented for auditor's review. Meeting minutes of September 9th.
I just found on page 4, just take out interest will be starting instead of DUE.
Where?
Oh, wait,
Interest will be due starting.
you want to put interest will be starting instead of the due doesn't need to be there. It's like it's due.
Interest
Yeah,
starts, it should be
yeah,
starts,
starts.
not starting.
Yeah,
So you
interest
take
will
out
start.
Do that.
Take out due and change it to starts, September 16th.
With that change, I would make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? September 12th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written. For September 12th.
I will second it.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Next up is computers, so, we have Windows 10 on 4 computers. 2 of them we're able to update and 2 of them we are not, so, Anavon sent me a quote for the assessor's computer. So both the assessor's tablet and computer are outdated, they cannot be updated to the Windows 11. So what we are doing is, the township will buy the computer that stays here, he's buying his own tablet this time. Because he deals with other ones, so he is going to purchase that on his own. But I would like to make a motion to be able to accept the quote for the new desktop. Through Anavon.
I thought we were having trouble with Amazon.
We are, we just looked at the contract.
So why do we wanna deal with them anymore if we're having trouble?
Well, we've gotta have a computer.
Yeah, I understand
We
that,
can
but
go
is-
outside of that, I mean, we don't have to go with Anavon.
okay, that's what I was wondering. Did we get any other quotes from anybody else yet?
Not as yet, because July just went through the contract, I can't tell, it says it's a year when Dan signed it, but I don't know if I don't see a different contract or a different thing, so it could be up and we could start looking.
Okay,
That, I think I'll bring up next month, because I'm not sure yet.
okay, I would like to go that route. Let's, table that and let's hold on to this and see what, cause I've heard scuffle that we've had trouble with Avion, so.
But, internet,
Yeah,
can we make a motion to buy the computer outright without going through Amazon?
once we get a quote, yeah, or how much are we looking at spending for this?
So theirs is $1,008. So if we stay right there, say, 1,100 tops,
I don't know if it's a good price or not, but, yeah.
and this is 1,000, and I know they're usually high. We'll get to that next with the fire department one, cause I think yours was 750 that you found?
I had 3 bids, but yes, 750 was for a desktop.
That's what we need.
Well, then, I'll make a motion that we could spend $1,000.
To
to 1,000.
I'll second that. And then we'll need a roll call vote.
Kim,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
Jill.
So the next up is the fire department's, desktop that's in the lobby. It's also the other one that's outdated. Doug, you wanna speak on that one?
It can't be updated just like the other one that you're talking about, and I have 3 bids on it. But my computer guy, just last week I got the requirements for what Avalon is saying that we need to have on it. So I've gotta get it to my computer guy who's been out of town, who's going to make sure that all 3 of those computers that we looked at meet the requirements. So I don't have anything for you today. I will have it for you next week once he's reviewed it.
I would like to do the same thing. I'll make the motion to spend up to $1,000 for the fire department computer and let their guy order theirs.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Roll call vote.
Kim,
Yes, quit rolling your eyes.
Steve,
Yep.
Mary,
Yes. Yes.
Jill. Yes.
Next up is the MOU through State Treasury. Jill and I, when we were working on the audit and stuff with State Treasury, they have a program. So you have your, I think it's signed, I think I put the sign note in your packet. It's signed by myself and State Treasury. We were granted this $24,500. We have our first Zoom with Planet Moran on October 21st at 8:30 a.m. Can you be here? I was coming to ask you that and I don't. So, you all have that in your packets?
Yes.
Let it be known, I just asked Tracy to attend that Zoom meeting class as well, cause we've been working bank recs and we got a lot of questions that we need answered to Planet Moran. But they will be doing this single year audit because usually we're on a 2-year, and that's why we went with this MOU, was so we could have an audit this year because we have a partial year and a partial year. So that's what we were granted. So it was $24,500 for an audit for 25 and to do the F-65. So both of them will be colored under that MOU. All we do is send the invoices in to Eric Klein. Yes, that's a big help. Cause we got, 13,000 into the audit now. Next up is your NEMCOG membership for the year. Is this cheaper than it was last year, do you know? Off the top of your head? 1,090. It ain't much different if it is. So I would like to make a motion to pay NEMCOG's membership dues for fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $1,090.89.
I'll second it.
Yes, no. Roll call.
Which one of you seconded?
I,
Kim,
Yes.
Steve,
yes.
Mary?
Yeah.
Oh,
Next up, rules with USDA. This is, their handicap survey. Let me explain it a little bit. When we put in for the utility authority over here on 4 Mile Road, we had grants from USDA, we had grants from Eagle, we had, and then we had bonds. We rent them office space. So our offices had to be handicap compliant to be able to rent them space in our building. So when it first went down 7 years ago, the handicap survey, there was a couple things that we got nicked at. Matter of fact, one of them, if you notice, out on the fences walking in, the railway was too wide. So that's why we had to put that skinnier section on the top to be compliant. Back then, it was simple things like the sign on the door for the restrooms and stuff like that. If you have looked at this, we are not in compliance no more, 0. Both of our bathrooms are totally not good. All these have changed in the last 4 and 5 years to higher stools. There's now, you have to have the handlebar thing on the back of the toilet instead of just the sides, and you have to have room. The sink needs to be lower for a handicap, wheelchair accessible. So neither one of our bathrooms are in compliance. So I'm sharing this report because when, I've been dealing with Eric Klein through State Treasury, and when him and I had asked him about this, is there something, can I go back to USDA and get a grant to fix these bathrooms and put them back into compliance? Because it's a USDA grant that we're not in compliant with. So he told me yes, that USDA will do those kind of grants for that. But he asked me not to try to submit it until the first of the year because unless the government opens back up sooner, but he suggested to wait to go into that till after the first of the year. So once that hits, I will start looking into a grant for that as well. Because I also asked him about buildings, and he said most of the time they do not. I could probably get a federal grant for the buildings, but the buildings should be run under the township operating in your fund balance to do the upgrades to the building. I think the only thing we can get a grant for is the USDA, so that's what I'm hoping for. So for your info, still working on it. Next up, I got dump hour increase. We've had several people complain, we always get complaints. But the transfer site, suggestions were Saturday be open 8 to 4 instead of 8 to 1, because everybody time they get around, it's already closed. I've heard it more times than I can count. Sundays, everybody's confused, they think we close at 7 and we get calls and complaints that the dump closed early at 6 because we're open till 7 on Wednesday. So Sunday, I would like to see us open 1 to 7, move that to the 7, and change Saturday till 4.
Eight till 4 on Saturday?
Yeah. And 1 to 7 on Sunday,
What about Wednesday?
not change at all.
How many complaints have we received?
A lot. The 7 o'clock's the worst one. And we don't have to go to 4 on Saturday, we could go to 3, I'm just out there. I think 1 o'clock is a little too early, I would suggest 3 is what my suggestion was to begin with. And then Sunday only change back 1 hour, so you're going till 7.
My question is, when do people really start coming in on Saturdays?
Yeah,
They're lined up at 8.
Cause we're there my family's
Correct.
there at 8.
Some are, majority of them come after 11,
What's your busiest hours?
Sundays and Wednesdays.
And what are those hours? I mean,
Three-
when are you normally having people lined
Wednesday,
right up?
right from the get, 3 o'clock on.
Yeah, they're usually there.
Sundays, it's usually as soon as you open until about an hour before we close.
Yeah, they start lining up at noon.
And Saturday, not so much?
So maybe we could take some hours from Saturday.
Well, that's because we close early and a lot of them don't get around until noon to come
Still
in.
open later, but not open till later.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
8 to 4 is a long time. They can't get-
Keep it the same amount of hours.
You all figure it out.
2 to 10 to
I'm
4.
just suggesting.
A lot of our seniors, according to some of my conversations here, they don't get up that early.
No.
They just can't get up and move that early, so probably changing the hours, maybe 10 to 4, 11 to 4. What do you think? You and Travis work there.
Cause
I
I
know.
Talk to
the
us.
same hours.
I would love to keep it that way, especially for the winter.
Leave it where it's at,
Yes, yes.
not change Sunday either.
Not change anything, no. I mean, that, we know when they're open, you get there when it's open.
And we're open 3 days a week.
I mean-
I could see if it was
Exactly.
one
I mean,
day.
if we expand the hours, yes, the people will straggle in later. I mean, they will.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel, you know when the dump is open, get there. If you got garbage, go.
I kinda disagree. I still say we should go until 7 on Sunday. Because we do get a lot of them in the last hour trying to come in. Usually when we're closing the gates, there's like 3 or 4 that'll come in after 6.
But that's what I mean, 3 or 4, they need to step it up a little bit.
Right.
I mean, we're not gonna accommodate everybody. We know what the, you know when the dump hours are. I mean, come on.
Right.
And I mean, I'm
He's
shop
saying
here
not
open
change
3
it.
days a week.
And
That's a lot.
especially going into the winter time, it's gonna be dark at that time anyways.
Right.
Yeah,
That is true.
yeah.
So your consensus
And
is
that's-
not change it.
Or why don't we leave it and
I think we do.
monitor
Revisit in the
between
spring.
now and-
Yes, I
Right.
think we
Over the
do.
winter, monitor it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let's log the complaint so we know actually how
Yeah,
many
that's
complaints we
right.
have.
Start doing, yeah.
You know, a log
Survey.
complaint or something like that, yeah.
Mhm.
So just,
Exactly. Jill, you're up, policy for per diem.
what?
Oh, there you were.
I don't remember what it is.
It's in
She found it.
Well, I got them all messed up because.
Well, you're right.
So last meeting, we had the premium going down to 30, which made no sense actually to me. So we're gonna change it back to 70 or to 50. Per day, and 75 if you are staying overnight. And just 50 if it's within reason
Single day.
of driving
If
and
it's a
coming back
single
home,
day.
instead of the 30.
Cause we took a cut and pay there.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that did, yeah.
It really made no sense when gas is higher and food's higher.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying I would like to make a motion to put it back up to 50 and keep 75 per day overnights.
I was second. Further discussion?
And to be honest, a lot of times if they're serving food like we've done Gaylord and we didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
We never, you know what I'm saying?
Second.
A lot of times, you're you know, our officials here, we won't even take it
Need a roll call. please.
because they were doing food
Right.
stuff.
Second.
Mary. Kim and Mary, I believe. No, Jill.
She made the motion, you seconded.
You
it.
seconded.
Motion, Kim second.
Kim? Roll call.
Yes.
Steve?
Yes,
Mary?
4029. This is for the township tax. To allow the supervisor to spread for December's taxes. This is just for our township tax, and I've had conversations with Greg. This is the Headley rollback. If you look at, millage reduction is, for 25, it's in the middle of the sheet, is 0.94. When I was in the treasurer's office, it was 0.97. Now it's down to 0.75. From what my understanding in having these classes the last 2 days too, and I discussed it with several other people there, I believe for us to raise this back up, we need to take a vote to the election for the voters to raise this back up to where it should be. So I'm still looking at that, so I think that will be something we'll have to have around and put on the ballot for next year, 26 election, right?
Yeah, and Kim, I would also kind of get out either on your website or in your minutes that, what we're doing, why we need to do it, and get any all comments you can from the citizens, so they can ask the questions, so that when it shows up, you don't have people
Shock and awe.
shocked and all and not understanding why it goes, and it won't be until next year, so you'll have enough time to do it and to get it, so I would do that. I know it's too expensive to send a letter out to everybody, and I know that not everybody has an email, so I would just draft a memo, put the memo on your website. I would make sure it's in the minutes, what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And then every meeting, I would just, at the end of the bottom of the minutes, I would simply just have this, that.
The
this-
same thing in there,
Yeah.
so it's repetitive,
Yeah, just so people can have a ability to find it somehow, some way.
okay? 'Cause we can also give them memos out at the dump, cause we get a lot of people there.
I would work too.
Can we send a notice out with the taxes in December? No, because we don't send the taxes out.
But even if you
Can't
forget, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, because people will pick it up at different times based upon their different lives. Not everybody is sitting around waiting to hear from Beaver Creek Township, right? They've got other things that they're doing, and I think we should give them every opportunity to kind of come up and be knowledgeable, so that you're facing, not criticisms, but discussions.
Thank you for that. So anyway, we still need to spread it. I can't make the motion, we all have to, for the supervisor to spread.
Make a motion for the supervisor to spread. How do I say, Beaver Creek?
Township tax.
Yeah,
Our
Beaver
freedom
Creek
tax.
Township tax.
L
L
4029.
4029.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. You up, Tim, DPW.
Everything's going good, we're winding down. We got the fence all put back together around the transfer station. It looks like new again. They come and finally took the containers away today,
Yeah, I talked to him early this morning.
so, yeah, it was Tuesday when I called them. I told them, then A&L is supposed to be coming tomorrow for theirs.
I called them again this morning because they brought the open cardboard one back, and that was supposed to be done October 1st as well. So all we have over there for the winter is the bird cage.
Okay. I was under the standing, knowledge that we were keeping it until December is what Bill and me thought when we talked Tuesday.
No, I talked to him this morning,
Okay,
because it was in October 1st, the same as the large containers.
okay.
Just so we had that overflow for the cardboard, because it fills up them bird cages so quick, so.
Yeah,
That'll be going too, he was picking it back up, so if they got the large ones, they might be back for that today. It might be not until next week when they do it, cause I told him at this point, there's probably some in there and it's not full, so it can wait until the next pickup next week.
okay. But otherwise, that's it, we're getting ready for winter now, so.
And you've got all the water off and everything
Yes.
in the pavilions and transfer site, or cemetery. and all that.
Cemeteries, yeah.
Good job. Next up, cameras at the transfer site. The fence over there gets beat up so bad by GFL, and they say they don't do it, but, you know, they do. Anavon just sent us another quote, again, Anavon, so, you know, take it for what it's worth. I thought, and what I called him about today was back when we did the cameras at the fire department, we also had them signed up for over at the transfer site, and then we voted against it. I thought we had paid half for the cameras, but when they went back and looked, no, they used that to pay off the fire department's cameras. So this proposal is for 3 cameras over to the transfer site at $5,100.53. But I'm gonna ask to table it, cause if we move out of Anavon, I don't. But I really think at least we get 1 camera on the side where the guys can't see. That points to them canisters and all that, but I just wanted to get that to you. But I think Anavon, our contract is up. So that was just a little FYI. Doug, you're up.
Good afternoon, I apologize for being late today. We were on a structure part railing.
Oh,
I worked, so I had to take a shower or smell like a house fire,
thank you.
covered in carcinogens. So, this was what I tried to get to you earlier, but I did not. This is the request for the sale of engine 3. We talked about this last time. And I'm just I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. I had 4 people call, no one did a call back. I gave them all the information I could that I have on that engine, and no one called back. I also posted it over at the Roscommon Fireman's Memorial for 2 days over there, and nothing on that either. So there are companies out there who sell fire trucks, that's what they do, online. And our truck wouldn't leave our station, it just stays there. All the information goes out online. I contacted 4 different organizations that do that, and each of them are almost exactly the same. At 10% is what they want for the, whatever we sell it at. So if we sell it at 50, it's gonna be, will be 45, that'll be 5, kind of thing. I also included here, I did what was called an apparatus appraisal software on our engine 3. They said if you wanna sell it quickly, you could sell it for probably 30,000. They said if you wanna hold up on it for a little bit, you could probably get about 55,000. If you wanna go long-term and wait a long time to sell it, they said you might be able to get 70 for it. And that's what the appraisal thing comes back to. So what I'm asking you is the approval to be able to deal with any of these third-party organizations, give them that information. I'm asking 2 things, to give them their information and agree upon their 10%. The second is to make some kind of a schedule that says in 3 months, right now we want 50,000, in 3 months we'll take 45, in 6 months we'll take 40, whatever. That's just an example, please don't take that as a, but that's an issue.
What do you think?
More of a business decision, right? You have to, if it financially makes sense.
Do they start the value at a certain amount?
Whatever we say. We could list it at 60.
And we approved it no less than 50
Right.
Yeah.
when we did it, so.
And would we would do all 3 of those dealers, and whoever sells it gets that? Is that-
Actually 4, yes.
4.
I would do all 4.
Okay,
And we will owe nothing to the one who doesn't sell it.
right, exactly, yeah.
It's just the one who does sell it
Yeah.
would be 10%.
I'll make a motion that we list it at 50, let's start at 50 with those 4.
I'll second.
She said, you're making a motion for 50?
Yes,
What did you wanna put it up for though? 50 again?
If you're asking me, I would say I'd start at 60,
That's what I was gonna say.
just because we're gonna lose 5 on the deal.
Mhm.
We won't get 60,
Right,
but
But your bottom line's gonna be 50, that you
bottom
won't
line,
let, it-
Right.
they,
won't let it be sold below 50.
Yeah,
Because you never know, 2 months from now, you go do it again, you get the price you wanted.
Right.
I'll resend that motion.
All you gotta do is change the amount,
Okay,
and then whoever seconded it will re-second it.
Just amend the motion.
amend the motion,
To 60,
yes. 1,000.
second the amendment.
You seconded it.
yeah, she seconded.
Again, roll call vote.
Greg, did you want a copy of this also?
I've already seen it.
Kim,
Yes, sorry.
Steve,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Yes,
Jill. Yes.
Next up is that property sale, that same chunk of property. Last month's meeting, 2 months, I'm not even sure when this one was. August. Steve and I had made the motion to them, people had put the bid in for 1,000, and we had countered them at 1,500 and never heard a word since. While we're in that meeting, this guy that's on your paper, he come in and offered 15,000 on the spot.
1,500.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry.
yeah.
When we first listed it in, God, I don't even know, 12 or 13, it was for 4,500 and it's set there. I mean, it's still sitting there. We still have that one chunk because it's on a weird angle on the corner. And the only people that want it is the people on adjoining sides. So the first one doesn't wanna pay more than 1,000 and the second one offered the 1,500.
I make a motion to accept the 1,500.
I second it.
Get it back on the tax roll.
Yeah,
Right on, it's been off way too long. Yes, ma'am, it's money.
Fine. Kim,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Mary. Yes. Hope,
yes.
Jill.
More work for Greg. Next up is a tower contract over on Skyline. We're gonna give that back to Doug again when he gets back in here.
Right here, ma'am. Sorry. Someone's kind of lost outside.
Okay.
The Skyline Tower,
Yes.
do you have a copy of the contract in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, so we've had that, I don't know how long we've had that tower, but
For a long time.
A long time. And since I've been there 9 years now, 9 years ago when I came, we were getting nothing for that tower. And today we're still getting nothing for that tower. Meaning no one is giving us revenue for using that tower. This gentleman, he's involved with the state on some of the some of the radio towers and that. And he had come to me and asked if they could use that, put, I think he said 2 microwave type antennas up there.
Yeah.
And he would take care of that tower in trade for that. And you have the details on it. The things I see very positive about this is, I don't know how many people in here are radio people, but I know I'm not one, so.
And we've been after Cherryland
Forever.
since the beginning of time. I mean, we have worked on people over and they've got the most usage over there.
He will get money out of them, I know it.
That's what he said on the phone.
But he knows radios, he knows frequencies and everything like that. I have no idea what we're talking about when we do that. So,
But that's
I
also
believe it would be.
maintenance of the grounds, the
yep,
generator.
he's gonna do all that stuff. He's gonna take care of all that.
The propane, the electric bill, are we still gonna be for
No,
that?
we're responsible for the electric and the propane. But we're,
He's just gonna put his microwave tower, we'll get nothing
Yes.
off that.
no, all we're gonna get is what he can bring in from revenue from everyone else. So,
But we
and he's
have,
gonna maintain the inside of the
right,
place.
but
plus
we
the
have
temporary.
no other antennas on there at this time,
There are
Oh, yes,
3
we do.
antennas on there,
and we get nothing from them?
0.
Yeah, and it ain't like we haven't worked, even Greg had it, worked on it years ago. Cherry Capital has been a nightmare. So this guy, when I spoke to him on the phone, what he is proposing is he will work on trying to get a hold of Cherry Land. And if he doesn't get any response, he will disconnect it until he does.
And that goes all the way up to Gaylord. So, they'll lose a lot of money.
And then we'll still have to keep insurance on this,
Yes.
Yeah,
even though somebody else is managing it?
at this point, yeah.
It's still our property.
We pay about, with fuel, we pay about $1,200 in electric and about $300 in fuel per year. So we get about $1,500 is what it's costing us a year to just have it
Expenses.
covered there.
Did you read this when I sent it to you? In your opinion?
Well, again, what's your intent to try to do? I mean, my opinion is that, you gotta maintain insurance, just to answer this question first, always. Because whether or not someone else is managing it, maintaining it, lease it to them, you've gotta have your backup service, because you're the big hand that they're gonna go after if something happens at that piece of property. Or the big pocket, maybe is the better way to say that. How far they're willing to negotiate, what you wanna negotiate, I think that's what you two need to decide, where do you wanna end up with, and then I can try to effectuate that process for you. But let's make sure we keep the insurance on it though. 'Cause
Oh, yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is if he puts those on that tower, I don't know anything about the tower. I
Absolutely.
mean, he's gonna have to have an engineer say, yeah, it's okay to put those on there
Absolutely.
before our liability, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would like to follow through with this, but we need to have some other arrangements made first before we sign it.
That's why we have an attorney to do
Yeah.
that.
I can have him come in for a meeting. I know he was out of town last week.
That would be the best, is have him come to a board meeting. You could,
Okay.
because then he can present to the board and everyone can ask the questions and everyone can see. And, you know, I can make sure that that he's got liability, because I want him to be able to list you guys as additional insured on his policy for that parcel of property.
Right.
Because if he burns that property, and the other problem is, if say something happens, a fire erupts from that, and it catches the ground, and it moves on to house to house to house, or property to property, you know, you're looking at the consequences for each one of those, and he's gonna be held responsible, but we wanna make sure he has insurance, so
Exactly.
it doesn't touch our insurance, or I should say your insurance.
Right. Or if it
Right.
falls,
Yeah.
I mean, anything, yes,
So I'll get a hold of him and try to get him to the next board meeting
Yes.
with all the good answers.
exactly.
And Chief, we can prepare him for that.
All right, thank you.
Next up, salt prices. Steve, this is you.
What?
Right.
How many bags do we go through you?
A ton, so it's usually about 50
50
bags. And especially if we go with the Dow flake, it's less mess for the hallways and
Exactly right.
easier on your vacuum cleaner
That's
instead of the
why,
rock salt.
that's why I said it's Steve's, because he's the one who knows, because he yelled at us about this blue salt last year.
We buying these directly, where are we buying? Where-
Yep, right through them. This is the company that we always deal with. It's part of, who's them people that deliver?
It's janitors and we get all
Okay.
everything through. Cause when Dan was here, we bought it from Ace Hardware and it was
Yeah.
just rock salt.
Exactly.
That's why we went through 3 vacuum cleaners.
And we had always bought it prior to this. I just don't know, I didn't know which one was actually Delph Flake.
So really, you're looking at the $17.50 a bag, the calcium chloride?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. I'll make a motion to buy it. It's $17.50 a bag.
Steve's made the motion. I will second it to purchase the skid of, it's 55 bags per skid at $17.50 a bag. It's money, Jill.
I know.
He didn't, oh, he moved.
Kim,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Yes.
Joe, you second that?
And, yeah. Good? You're up, Brian. Higginsville Utility Authority.
So, we've had actually a couple meetings since my last report. In our September meeting, our annual audit's gonna start in October. At our meeting earlier this week, they're scheduling, their admin are scheduling it for, with the auditor, so that's gonna be taking place. We looked at doing email billing, and, so we could just email bills out. BSNA's gotta make some changes, which should take place in November for us to be able to do that. And then we'll be able to test it with a couple of us and open it up and send stuff with the next invoices for people to sign up for that.
That would be good.
Yes, we just went, renewed a CD. We're with Verizon, they've been really good on their CD rates for municipal, like 3.7 to 4% range for 5-6 months. They're going through they're too heavy into municipal, and they got too many municipalities rate shopping and going there for CDs. So our new one is gonna be 2.2% for 6 months. So they're kind of really cutting back on the interest rate. Also, there was a decrease, federal rate decrease recently too that's gonna play in. But it's more of them kind of rebalancing their portfolio to be a little more balanced between the consumer and municipal side. To be honest, the 2% is probably where most of the banks have been for a couple years now. So we've been very, very lucky having a couple $100,000 in there at those higher rates. So that's been good. Right now, it's just gonna be a kind of wait and see with it. We do have 3 CDs coming due in February, which totals a little over 250,000. So that's gonna be a little bit more critical. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that plays out. What I didn't put it on here, I missed it, we actually had a special meeting in September. It was a joint, meeting between the Utility Authority Board and the Lyon Township Board to talk about Camp Cornelia and the Utility Authority. They're making a lot of claims and complaints to the Lyon Township Board about what took place in mediation, what was agreed to and stuff. But it's not actually what was agreed to. And mediation is confidential. You're not allowed to say who said what. We agreed that we could say, here's what the agreement was. They have completely blown the confidentiality of mediation right out of the water, their attorney and their president, by claiming who said what and all kinds of other things. So that's kind of a mess that we're working on. We're just kind of sitting back right now. I think the Utility Authority attorney's a little, I don't think he knows what to do because he's never dealt with an attorney that's broken confidentiality and then actually lied about what actually took place and what was agreed to. So we're just kind of holding in kind of a holding pattern now. Current bad debt stands at about $15,000. Our annual budget's over $500,000. We want to get this cleaned up, but the fact of the matter is, it's not out of the norm for any business or company. You know, it's right in that 3% bad debt range, which is normal. About 10,000 of it is 10 customers. And then there's another 20-some customers that make up the remaining 5,000. I'm gonna talk to our chair, Doug. Kinda got an idea of maybe how we could clean out a couple of the big ones, cause those are our bigger concern, you know.
Exactly.
When we got one customer at $1,500, another at $1,200, they haven't paid in 2.5 years. I kinda got an idea of something we can maybe do to try and get those cleaned up. It's kinda where we're at with everything. Plant's being shut down for the winter, so there's no more irrigation or anything. We'll just be storing in the ponds until spring. They should have the ponds down to the lowest they can, and it's kinda just hang out for the winter.
You have your meeting Monday night?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't make it.
No, I remembered you had something downstate.
Yep.
It was actually really quick. We were in there about a half hour.
So you didn't have the Camp Cornelia crowd?
No, only Betty showed up and she didn't say anything, so,
Yes, you don't have an audience.
no. It's, something needs to be done
Exactly.
with the whole situation. I mean, this has been a problem since day one, with the delinquents and the bad debt stuff. Right now, Lyon Township has sent stuff over to their attorney to review in the matter. I don't know how much he's gonna be able to do because he's only got one side of the story, so. I don't know what you heard about the special meeting. We were basically told, can't reply to anything, let Camp Cornelia say whatever they want, you guys just sit there and be quiet. It was very disrespectful to the board.
Very much so, and to Doug as well.
Yep. Yeah, there was, I guess, some text messages and stuff from the supervisor to Doug afterwards were not pleasant. So, my feeling is, I think 3 of the board members really don't want anything to do with it. I think it's just 2 of the township board members that are kind of going along right now. So it's, we'll just see how it plays out. It's not I mean, it's almost like I need to be blunt and say, okay, what are you gonna do, replace 2 members? You don't have a quorum. You can replace 2 guys. The other 3 are still gonna do what they've been doing. You're not gonna change anything, so.
Well, I had spoken to our attorney about it, and he said to leave it up to the utility authority, so that's what we're doing.
No.
Thank you
that's-
for taking the heat that you've taken in the last 3 months, because I know it's been bad, and I feel sorry for you guys, but you're all standing up and doing it. I
Well,
mean, you're-
yeah, and we'll tell you the same thing. This is not a township issue. This is a
No,
utility authority
exactly
issue.
right.
That's what we're there for. That's what the utility authority's for. That's what the board is for.
And that's
We
why
make
you have
decisions.
your own attorney as well.
Exactly, yes. And we've had, Mike since before 2020.
Yeah, 'cause before I left, you hired him in.
Yeah, he's been very, very good. And we use him sparsely, we pride ourselves on knowing what we can and can't do, so we don't have to go to our attorney constantly. We use them for contracts and more policies and the things
Exactly.
we really should be using one for. And, we used to pay, what, $2,000 a year no matter what. Since then, we just pay as we go, and I don't think we've even hit $2,000 a year since we've hired him, so, that's with all this legal stuff going on, so that's been very good.
Good deal.
Any other questions?
I don't, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Zoning permit fees are still $50 since the beginning of the zoning permit fees. We are the lowest in anywhere around. Some of them are 75, some are 100. I think we need to raise these, just like it was with the avalanche and all that heavy stuff. The prices of everything has gone up so much. So I would like to see an increase to the zoning permit fees.
I'll second that.
I didn't
How
even tell
much?
you what. I just think they should go up. I'm good with 75. I know other townships are at 100, but I don't feel that we need to do that yet. But this is the first time it's been changed in, I think, 16 years. So I would like to make the motion to raise the zoning permit fees to $75.
Effective immediately?
Yep.
I'll second.
And I will make a note to have Pat put that on the webpage, so
When are you gonna make that, gotta put an effective date? I would not make it effective until
like
either
November
December or
1st.
November or January, one of those three.
Okay,
Let's do November 1st.
that far enough up, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. Effective November 1. It's a slow time of the year anyway on those.
And make sure that gets on your website, okay?
Yep, that's what I just wrote the note, have Pat put it on. I need a roll call vote.
Tim?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Hope?
Yes.
Jill? Yes.
Good?
Good.
Public comment?
Can I go first?
Sure thing.
And then let everyone else go? So, just wanna tell you, your rehiring me screwed me up at my office. Oh, by the way, everybody, really fun here. So one of the first things I need to do is, I'm gonna give these two documents to Kim, and then you all can have a copy. One's a check for $3,500 and another is the agreement. So, if you look at it, unfortunately in your situation, we had in 2024 from January to December, we had a fixed fee of $7,000. The $3,500 we got paid up front, and the other $35,000 we were supposed to get in December. Our total incurred fees were $13,000 and that we had. But again, because we had a fixed fee, we moved it, we kept it within the $7,000. But because I didn't exist after November, it's not a bad thing, I'm just saying, because I didn't exist after November, and always understanding that townships need more money than the attorneys that are doing the work, I intended to write off the $3,500 additional amount and close the file. Well, they closed the file, and I started to write off the additional amount, and then I was contacted, and now I have to reopen a file, and they wouldn't allow me to apply the $35,000 we had in trust towards the $13,000 because the file's been closed. So what I'm gonna need ultimately someone to do is to reissue that same check back, but put into the memo that this closes out the January 2024 to December 2024. So that this way then I will wipe out the rest of the $3,500, and I will, of course, would never have gone after the additional amount. And then I will produce for you effective November 1st. I'm thinking about how to do this. I know that you've not committed beyond December, so I'm gonna give you another retainer that just has a stated fee of $750 a month for November, December, and to continue on to the extent that you agree to. And then I would just ask that sometime in December or January, you decide how you want to go when that expires, because my firm will automatically kill that agreement, and I don't want to be put back in the thing. Lastly, I do bill all of the time that I do, not because you're gonna pay, it's just for me to account to you of all the work that I have to do so that there would be an experimentation. You may know, or not explanation, I meant to say, you may know in years prior, at the end of every year, I would do an accounting to the supervisor of how much was spent, how much was involved, and how much I was paid, and it always works out to be about 2/3 I'm paid for the work that I've been asked to do. I don't see that this is gonna be any different. I mean, we have a lot of work, at least I'm trying to do in terms of getting a lot of compliance going. We'll do that again in December, so you'll be able to look at the $750. Is that too much? Is that too little? And we'll move forward in that regard. But I wanted everybody to understand that, and I had no problem writing off the other $3,500. The problem is, I don't know accounting, what my team says. So I have to have another agreement to open up. They won't reopen up the 124 to 1224, because it's already been closed and it's for a set period. So that's what I did, and just wanted to let you know that. So I don't need that at any time soon, but as soon as you can get it, but please put into the memo, clearly on the check, this is for the full payment of the 1/20/24 period. And make sure that the minutes reflect that the agreement was for 7, it only been paid 35. We're gonna write the rest of it off, as I intended to do. I just thought that, you guys didn't need that to carry forward, and because I wasn't going forward. Now, if I would've stayed on, then I would've asked for it.
You wanted it.
Thank God, thank you guys. I have nothing else.
Thank you. Public comments? Yes, Pat?
I have a couple of comments. First of all, and this one's to the clerk, the payroll for September was $42,000. Were there 3 paychecks during September?
Thank you.
You're not gonna answer the question to whether or not there were 3 paychecks? Pardon me?
It's not the form of public comment, but I think you don't answer it in this meeting, but you can answer it in another forum. So just make sure you take your notes.
My second question, and this is directed to every single person sitting up there at the board, has to do with this meeting's AP report. If you will look at page 2 of that AP report, the third line item, you approved a payment to Grand Traverse Resort in the amount of $1,244. And the purpose of that check was to repair a radio on engine number 2 in the fire department. How the hell could you approve that check? Are you not looking at this report? It's right in the report. You people need to start watching the money a lot more carefully, and I'm going to be FOIAing that Grand Traverse Resort receipt.
No, if you could read it and say Grand Traverse Radio.
The check was payable to Grand Traverse Resort.
If it was Grand Traverse Resort, ma'am, I had a conference over there for 3 days last month.
Then why is the amount charged to the fire department as a repair to a radio on engine number 2?
Thank you.
Okay, my next question is, or my next comment is about the February 9th board meeting minutes, in which my comments at that meeting were taken completely out of context. What I said in that meeting, what I asked for in that meeting, was when the fire department is going to make the first payment on the loan that the township provided to purchase that fire truck they're now trying to sell. There was a loan due on December 1st in the amount of $12,895.42 plus interest of $2,028. It has not been paid. You won't even acknowledge that there's a loan. All you have to do is look on your balance sheet and you will see it. Now, I would like to know why you are not making that payment back to the taxpayers.
Thank you.
And make sure that my comments are accurately reflected in the meeting minutes. Now, the last thing I want to talk about has to do with the 2009 Ford 350 diesel truck that we supposedly got a really great deal on because we got it for free from the DNR. Looks like Doug picked it up in December and immediately took it right over to a repair place in the same city and spent $1,775 on brake calipers. And then this month on the AP report, you spent another $7,672 on that truck for further repairs. So I want it noted for anyone that's here and anyone who sees this video that we have put to date $9,500 into that truck. And taxpayers don't know that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
If they'd have bought that truck outright, it would have probably been about $50,000.
What I'm saying is that it wasn't disclosed.
Please do not talk amongst yourselves, address the board. Sorry, Sue.
It's kind of doing that.
And your name is?
Oh, Aaron.
Hi, Scott Peacock. I just want to tell you guys you've been doing a fabulous job compared to some keyboard warrior that just absolutely is always going for a gotcha moment. So considering you guys have been involved in this for about a year, and you guys were pitched into a hole by the previous administration that left you guys so high and dry, so maybe the people of the township of Beaver Creek should be looking at the past records of this fabulous past pretense administration that was here. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sure this keyboard warrior is probably taking her lead from the previous administration to tell her what to say and how to say it. I'm sure that's probably reasonably true, but it's just my guess. But you guys have been put through the ringer through everything, and then you have a keyboard warrior that can't wait to give it up in the morning, turn on the computer and go, what kind of shit can I run today? Instead of running some frivolous or possibly some new frivolous lawsuits, I really don't think that the people of the township actually understand that these possibly frivolous lawsuits are also coming out of their pocket. It doesn't come out of your pocket, but it comes out of everybody's pocket. So then when this keyboard warrior decides to do this, it absolutely establishes problems within the township because of the ignorance of this keyboard warrior. So, by the way, you guys have done absolutely fabulous work considering you were dealt a very shitty hand because they left you guys high and dry. You guys had to figure it out. You also didn't have any help from the previous administration as much as they like to say they did. And they also have done the same thing in other townships where I'm sure that somebody had a lot of powwow meetings that turn around and says, all right, considering we're all out, well then let's stick everybody that's coming in with nothing and let them sort it out themselves. And that's exactly what has happened here. Gee, you know, it's funny, this keyboard warrior hasn't been around for the previous administration because I guess obviously they were the most fabulous thing that would ever walk the earth. And yet, here she is now complaining over the whole thing. And then makes an assumption of calling me a douchebag. And of course, we don't know each other very well. So by the way, it is Mr. Douchebag. Put that in your letter. So I have to admit that there's gonna be a continual problem as long as she wants to continue being a keyboard warrior and taking the lead from other people to go do this, go do that, probably sit down and have coffee, you know, and discuss all these wonderful things that we can probably do. The faults of the money that are being spent within the fire department and everything like that, well, that fire truck that's being sold was bought by the previous supervisor. And it's amazing. Oh, we gotta get this truck. We have to have this truck. Oh my God, it's in Texas. What do? They fly down and look at this wonderful truck, and it turned out to be the biggest piece of shit there ever was. And then they had to turn around and take these wonderful summer tires off the truck and had to put brand new tires on the truck. And how long did this thing run to even stay running before it broke down because pumps or anything like that? But you know, the keyboard warrior don't know all these things. They're just going off other information from other people that are planning these wonderful things as, oh, you bitch about this and you bitch about that. So, you know, it's just one of those funny things. So, I want to tell you,
But thank you.
but I just want to say you guys did a fabulous job, and you guys are still continuing to punch this stuff out. And you guys are getting a handle on it. Because the previous administration sure as hell didn't leave you anything.
Thank you, Mr. Douchebag. My opinions are my own.
Please keep your comments
Mr.
to the
Peacock.
board and not each other. other comments? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon again. My name is Doug Bourgeois, citizen here in Beaver Creek. And I do know a little bit about this thing that's been addressed about a wonderful ambulance that we got for free, which would have cost a lot of money, as someone said. But it had been sitting so long that the brakes had locked up. And that was $1,700 a day that we got it. So that was it. But if someone else would like to know about the other part, I would really like to let the board know what's going on. So it was brought to my attention that a letter was sent to our supervisor and said, "Dear Kim, this photo was sent to me shortly after 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 17th. That's your fire chief's parking the chief's truck at his favorite watering hole, drinking and driving a township vehicle. What are you going to do about it?" And it was accompanied by a picture of 710, which is a vehicle I usually drive. And yes, it was there. No one else in the picture, but it was there. So let me address first of all the contention that your fire chief parking the fire chief truck in his favorite watering hole. Fact, Command 1, which is usually assigned to me, had been assigned to the station since 9/9 to temporarily replace a rescue that was out of service due to a car versus deer accident. So that was being our quote ambulance since 9/9. It was not assigned to me at 9/17 as it was said, number one. Okay, number two is, that's why I spent $7,200, which we didn't spend, the insurance spent this. Okay, but that check comes in, goes out. So, if you wanna know, and if it's my fault for buying a vehicle that a deer hit, I'll be glad to take responsibility for that. Second, the assumption that I drove and parked Command 1 at the Moose is incorrect. I did not park Command 1 at the Moose. The duty crew, while on shift, parked Command 1 at the Moose, where they went there to have dinner. Cheryl, the server at the Moose, has signed an affidavit that Tammy Hinman and Terry Lakuta were at the Moose in uniform with their 800 radios on September 14th around 17:25 and had a chicken strip dinner and fries, chicken wings, extra crispy, with honey hot sauce, 2 waters and 2 lemonades. That was not me. My crew is allowed to eat, and they can go there and eat. There is nowhere else to eat in Beaver Creek. I don't know if you know this, but there's nowhere else to eat in Beaver Creek as a sit-down. Nowhere. Well, technically, I guess the golf course when it's open, but other than that. So, her assumption that I parked that there, wrong. Absolutely wrong. And this was put on the internet, okay, that I did this. Third, the statement that I was drinking and driving a township vehicle is just another example of this person's personal vendetta against me. I was not on duty at that time and that date, and I had no contact with this vehicle at all. I just would like you guys to know that, okay? I feel that as a board, you should demand a written retraction. As an employee, I would hope that you would demand a written retraction from Pat Cooper about that you, Pat Cooper, did not see who was driving the vehicle. The vehicle is not currently assigned to the fire chief. That you, Pat Cooper, were derelict in your duty to investigate who had driven.
my duty?
You were derelict, excuse me, I'm talking. You were derelict in your duty.
Don't address her.
Could you please make sure she was quiet during my talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir.
You want coffee, Kim?
All right. That you were derelict in your duty to investigate who had driven the vehicle to the Moose before posting an accusation that I was drinking and driving the vehicle. The fire chief was not on duty and not in this vehicle. That you, Pat Cooper, states that the chief's favorite watering hole is incorrect. You have no idea what my favorite watering hole is at all.
Yes, I do.
So,
Excuse me, please stop.
and I would like to finish this by showing you that I am giving this to Pat Cooper right
I
now.
don't want it.
Hey, you can't do that. Just
No.
address it to the board, please.
No,
That
I don't
this
want
is going to
anything
Pat
from you,
Cooper,
Doug,
and
except
I
a
will be
resignation.
Pressing charges against her if our attorney does nothing.
Pressing
much.
charges, all right, let's
Please
go.
Stop,
Pressing charges.
please stop. Any other public comments? Alrighty, board members. Steve,
Had county zoning yesterday, not much happening in the county. We did have one person resign, he's gonna retire off the county board. It's Vice Chair Chris Jones, he was from South Branch. They did, South Branch is gonna appoint their zoning administrator Shelley to that position. The Sawmill Lofts, the big 5-story building going up there by the courthouse, they said that should be opening, they'll be taking applications in May, they figured. There's 40 total units there. They have they have retail space on the bottom floor, that none of it's done yet. They're gonna build to suit when they get retailers in there. The cost for the units are gonna range from $950 to $1,200 per month. And there is parking available where the tool trailers and everything currently are. I gave to our zoning director, we have to file a report to the county, so we're gonna compile everything that new has happened in Beaver Creek Township and submit that after the first of the year to the county commissioners. What's that ski place? Forbush Corners.
Yep.
They have now got 1 mile bike trails. They are applying for a grant to expand that another 7 miles.
nice.
And they are working with Hanson Hills. So if you go cross-country skiing at one spot, that same weekend, you can go both places at one cost.
Oh, cool.
And Maple Forest and South Branch have levied road taxes, and they said drive through their areas. They said that one mill has helped with their roads with the county.
Can I elaborate on that? In my classes yesterday, we can levy up to 3 mills without going to a public vote. I don't suggest we go without a public vote anyway, but that was brought up yesterday in one of my classes.
There was.
You guys are the same way.
Yeah, I have it.
That's all I have.
Thank you for your service. Hope,
Getting ready to do winter taxes. They'll go out December 1st. Still have a few out there that haven't paid summers, but other than that, they're slowly coming in and, eventually, hopefully they'll get them all paid. Other than that, that's about it.
okay, no, go back. I want you to tell us about your retreat.
Oh, my retreat? Lot of policies, I started on policies and resolutions just to make sure we have them all. We have most of them, because we did a lot of them when we first came in. Remember, we started with the taxes and stuff like that, and fixing them and getting them prepared. So a lot of policies, of course, everything's at a standstill, of course, with the government, both sides, Michigan and federal, and certain revenues that we can get and share. Also, we didn't know about it, well, you learned that the quality report was not done in 2020.
Qualifying statement.
Yeah, statement was not done. Of course, our F-65 was not done. That takes away revenue from our checks. So now with our audit done, the F-65 gets sent in and hopefully we get that revenue. Hopefully, the federal government gets running, so, in the state. But, other than that, good information, nice class, we had a good time and learned a lot.
Perfect. Mary?
On September 6th, I received this, conversational. Anyways, I sent out little forms asking people what they wanted for senior dinner, day, week, meal, whatever. A senior sent me this. I think 12:30, most of retirees don't move too early in the morning. It sounds great to me. Travis and the guys are doing a great job at the transfer site. Keep it nice and neat and clean, and good job, guys. And I wanna make sure this goes in DPW. And that's it.
Now, you wanna explain about the luncheon?
Oh, we're having a senior luncheon, our township is, because we're trying to open up a public dialogue between our township and our board, like we used to when we were kids. Anyways, we're going to have a senior dinner on the 27th of October at 1 p.m. It'll be fueled by, everybody's gonna be donating dishes and pop bottles, whatever it takes to get the meals going. We wanna do this once a month for our seniors. November's date will be the 30th, and December's date will be the 28th. January, we haven't gotten that far. We wanna do it, quarterly? So we also want to take and start a family game night on Thursday nights at least once a month. And what we're thinking is board games. Maybe one time we'll have a senior dance. We're trying to come up with ideas to bring our neighbors back in together like we used to be. Please snort again. Our DPW guys are throwing a Halloween party, Halloween night. They're gonna be decorating cookies with the kids, handing out candy. There'll be donuts and apples and hot dogs and all the good fun stuff that we used to have as kids. The guys, our DPW guys are taking top bottles. If you can't take and drop them off when you drop off garbage, get a hold of me, I'm in the book, and I'll try to meet you. Because they're doing a great job collecting them, cashing them in, raising the funds we need to do public activities. We have to bring back our neighborhood the way it was.
Why?
As a girl, as a child, I'm 62 years old, we had barbecue right out there every year. Us kids ran from one neighbor to the other playing. We didn't have to worry about a curfew because everybody knew where everybody's kid was. And that is the kind of neighborhood we want back. I want my grandkids to be able to walk to Nelson's farm. Wow, they got cows. Come home and tell me all about it and not worry about their safety. I want them to go to Kim's house. Kim makes the best damn peanut butter cookies ever. They love them. My grandkids love her cookies. Jill is a heck of a cook. I mean, I want our neighborhood back the way it was. I want people to walk in this office, ask for a cup of coffee and say, Tracy, I don't understand this. Please explain this tax code. And not worry about anybody getting all nasty. We're adults. It's time people started acting like adults. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Jill? Yes, you do. How was your class?
Yes.
Boring, no. Very informative. A lot of the clerks out there in the same boat we were all in. New clerks, same problems, computer problems, township problems. Learned a lot. Learned a lot that I've already learned, and some shortcuts. A lot of shortcuts.
Good. And today,
Today,
what did you do today?
oh, which part?
This morning? We had the election source
Oh,
accuracy
we did an
test,
accuracy test this morning. That was,
and we
I
passed,
got up too early.
right?
Yes, we had the election. And it passed. We did great.
Good
I'm
job,
ready for the election.
good job. We only have one thing on the ballot.
Doesn't matter, I'm ready for it.
There you go. All right, Supervisor, you had your hand up. I'll let you speak.
Yes, ma'am. In light of what you were talking about, I'm new to the area. I'm born and raised in Michigan, moved away, came back, bought a little cabin over here. I'm also trying to start a small business. I do barbecue and catering, very small, just getting started. But I would like to give that to who it needs to be. But if you'd like help, I can volunteer some time or smoke.
I appreciate
Awesome.
that.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. I'm gonna start with the pop cans, because back when, in the summer, Mary had started the pop can drive to be able to supply backpacks with supplies to the school kids. We ended up filling 62 bags. So since then, we're still collecting the pop cans, cause the pop cans is what, we've collected almost $350 right now in pop cans that paid for the Halloween party. And we will continue to collect them, and we're gonna do a Christmas party too as well, so, we're still collecting them, and, I mean, it's paid for a lot already, so, I mean, that's been a great service, and I wanna thank anybody that has brought pop cans in, cause it, like I said, 62 backpacks is impressive. We had a couple businesses that also donated, but 90% of it was out of the pop can money itself, so. I appreciate, Tim's been the one taking them in and getting the money for them now, and then he just went shopping for Halloween stuff on Tuesday, right?
Well, I helped with our supplies too.
Exactly,
And then we had people donate supplies for
exactly.
them backpacks, so that was awesome.
So we got a lot of feedback with that, is same with this, senior luncheon. I've got, the seniors are calling me around the clock, what can they make? We're trying to make it so they don't.
Make, yeah,
So,
so we feed them.
This first one, we're doing 2 different soups. Mary's gonna do a soup and I'm gonna do a soup. One lady called and she was making desserts and stuff, and I'm like, well, I can't stop you, I'll eat them, so. The first one is going to be on a Monday, because the hall was rented on the last Sunday of the month, so what we will do is the last Sunday of every month will be a senior luncheon at 1 o'clock. So that way, if they went to church or whatever, they have time to get here, so, and it's been, the feedback on it right now has been phenomenal, that people are happy that we're actually doing something to help involve the community again, so I wanna thank everybody for that one. So my list is really long. CCEDP chapter, I'm the MTA chapter representative on the CCEDP board. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Lacey Stefan pretty much carried the whole meeting. The water systems that we're putting in that are gonna connect to our utility authority, most of them are done, close to being done, working on new sections, so he was explaining which sections and what. So they've got a good handle on that. The road is in, and we all traveled that back from the chapter meeting. If you haven't been on the industrial road, I'd suggest you drive it. It's pretty impressive for what was there.
We waited years.
Yeah. And so what they have done now is they've opened the back way from industrial by where Milliken's Pit is, right at the edge of where it used to be dirt. They're putting a access road into the backside of Campus Avo, because they'll be shutting that section completely down and tearing it totally up and redoing that last section, because it's in bad shape, but that's also part of that grant work and everything that was being done. So that section of road will be finished here before too long. They were just waiting for that bypass to go through, so we got permission from Campus Avo to go through there now to get out while they finish that road. It should be a couple weeks, I think, by the sounds of it. I'm doing the Municipal Infrastructure Champions program. It's 16-week course. I've done 2 of the 2-hour pods now. We have weekly online classes that we have to take 2 hours per week. Graduation will be November 30th. We need asset management software. I had talked to a bunch of them on the pod last week when we did it. And being as small as we are, we can do it on an Excel spreadsheet and don't have to buy a big asset management. I had talked to the utility authorities too, because 4 Mile Road was talking about getting one too. And after I talked to, I think I was on with 80 some people on that last pod, and all of them said the same thing. If you can get away with Excel for a long time, doing it that way with all of the formulas and stuff, than to buy the software, so that was a good thing on that one. NEPCON has their annual meeting tomorrow, it's a lunch, 10 to 1?
10 to 2.
10 to 2 in Alpena, free, big meal, big thank you to their participants, so if anybody's interested, we are going to Alpena tomorrow. Morning. I do the MTA lunch webinars monthly. I've gotten a lot of information, and I think every one that I have done, I've actually printed the packets for you all as well, so any kind of little bit of training has been helpful. I just signed up for a Zoom webinar. It's free through Michigan State University Extension. It's October 20th. It's on grant readiness, and I would like to see as many of us in here to view that as possible. We all can be in the same Zoom class, but it is October 20th. I don't remember the time.
2 o'clock.
It was?
2 to 3:30.
Yep, 2 to 3:30.
Yeah, 2 to 3.
So if you guys are interested, please come and view that as well. In September, Doug and I had went to MTA's Emergency Services in Frankenmuth. It was great. We got to meet the new fire marshal, yes, and he was actually, I was impressed with him. At first I was kind of leery, but he seems like he's got a handle on it and doing a really good job so far, so, I mean, that's gonna be a wait and see. I've done the supervisor meeting, planning commission meetings, MTA chapter meetings, both utility authorities, cause I like them. We have our first Zoom meeting with Planet Moran to start this audit process, and the F-65 is on October 21st at 8:30 a.m. And I have asked the deputy treasurer to also be in on that with the bank reconciliations, cause we move forward now to this current year, so, that will start on October 21st. I think that's it. Luncheon, Mary already talked about, hot bottles,
Community service hours
community service hours,
for high schools.
yes, we can get them.
Okay.
Mary just asked about community service, so we've got a few people coming in to help with the luncheon and stuff, so we will sign their community service. We had a couple that was actually helped with the picnic as well, so we are doing that. We're getting the kids to come in and help, and it's been actually pretty impressive for the kids that we've gotten with anything that we have done.
Food truck too.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to let you all know is, our webpage went live last week. I put all these in your packets. We had talked about it before. This is the texting through the webpage company, so it would be through Schumacher. The prices were on the back of what it's cost annual. So, the bottom, the smallest package is $750 annually. And that will be for 1,200 texts forward and back. So 6,000 texts with a return. So this is something I want you all to look at and look up, research it, look at it, and we'll come back to it next month if it's something that we want. If you remember when we were looking at the TextMyGov, I think it was $2,500 a year. And this is $750, I think is the one would be good enough for ours. I don't think I would be doing 12,000 text. If I do, I got a problem, but, so I just want you all to research it. You can go on and look at our website. It's actually kind of cool. There's still some kinks in it. What Schumacher is, every web page has to be ADA compliant by 2027. So they're pushing it now. Well, when we went live last week, and Pat used to scan the minutes and put them on our webpage. Scanning is no longer allowed, and there's a few things that are different that I was questioning. I was doing just like you're doing right there. So yesterday at my retreat, I talked to the owner of Schumacher, and I made him explain this stuff. So what the scans, the problems with the scans are and why they're not ADA compliant is because when you scan them, they get lighter. And so it's harder for people to read, and then, there's a lot of people that have color blind, so they can't see those colors and as they fade, so what they're trying to do is get us compliant, so everybody is ADH by 2027, that's when we have to be, so they're already pushing it. I got a book on it yesterday for Pat and I, so, I suggest you all go on and look at it. There's probably mistakes, cause we found a few, like, Doug Kuipert was listed as the assessor in the clerk's page. So, I mean, there's still some things that we're still working on, but they told us 2 weeks before we'd have it all worked the kinks out, so I'd like you all to look at it and look at the text messaging, and we'll go from there next month. That's all I got.
I make the motion. Close.
You're making a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.